I've heard many of you are struggling with the flower compositions, not knowing exactly where to add the flowers and therefore where to add the leaves. So in this video I'm going first to look at an old painting of mine, this one, and I'm going to critique my own painting, explaining where I would improve and what I would improve in this flower composition. And then I'm going to guide you through the painting of this flower composition, where I'm going to basically use the same approach as for the first part, but I'm going to improve and add more flowers, more leaves, and I'm going to guide you through the step-by-step process of painting this whole composition. My name is Luisa and this is the Lulu Blue Studio. Let's start painting together. So this is a critique to my own painting. This painting where I wanted to highlight what I would improve if I would repaint something similar. In first instance, I understand that this is the hero flower, is the central and the biggest flower. What I would improve is that the petals are just all too similar to each other. There are no white spaces. And this whole flower in the center is a little bit too flat for my liking, because even all of the petals have the same size. This second flower also, I understand that is not a hero flower, but is quite important due to his size. And what I would improve is that this flower is too similar to this flower that I have in the center. Its petals are all in the same sizes and shapes. There are no white spaces, and as you can notice, it is also connected to the main flower by these straight lines, one straight line that makes the whole composition too straight and too fixed, let's say. Regarding these two roses, although I like that the eyes starts to look at the roses from this corner and goes down to this corner, in my opinion, these roses are a little bit too similar in sizes, and also, as for this flower, they are connected from a sort of straight line that makes this whole composition a little bit too straight, too fixed. Also, what I would improve is that these yellow flowers usually are seen as filling flowers, and in this composition they are just too heavy, in my opinion. So what I would improve in a composition similar to this one is to create these filling flowers in different shapes, in different sizes, and taking advantage mainly of the shape of a, for example, round brush. What I would improve as well is that the line that connects the central flower to these filling flowers is just a straight line, and I would try to give more of a flex effect, where the lines that connect the central flower to the filling flower is a little bit more round and not such as a straight line. What I would improve for the leaves is that these leaves are just all the same size, they are all big leaves. Also, what I would improve is that these leaves leave too many white spaces all around this flower, and therefore I would like to improve this composition just by filling into these white spaces more green elements in this whole composition, and also creating different color values and adding different colors even in darkness and lightness to create something that is a little bit more spontaneous and a little bit with more movement. And so at this point I'm going to show you how we can improve this loose style flower composition in watercolor, and we can obtain something that is more cohesive and something that is even a little bit more realistic. I take my old painting as a reference and I start to mix on my color palette some Scarlet Red and transparent orange to start to paint the first hero flower. I paint this hero flower in the center of the composition because this is what I try to do with the first painting, and in order to create a flower that is a little bit more realistic, I use a flat brush and I try to create these petals not all exactly with the same shapes and sizes, and I also leave some white spaces, and also I start creating these petals with a light color value, and I add some more concentrated Quinacridone Magenta into these petals to allow the different colors to blend through the wet on wet technique. The first flower, in fact, that I painted is just too flat. I tried to add different colors through the wet on wet technique, but the concentration of the pigment was not high enough. So my recommendation for you is really to load your brush with a lot of pigment to create petals that are very dense in color. Now I started to create this secondary flower using a little bit of yellow ochre. I make this secondary flower a little bit smaller compared to the hero flower in the center. I still use my flat brush, and in particular I'm using the side of this brush to create the shape of these petals. Even here, I'm using a lot of pigment to create the colors of these petals. In particular, the first layer is a little bit lighter, but then I go back into the petals that are still wet and I add a little bit of yellow ochre to create these petals that are very concentrated. And then I change my brush and I take my round brush in size 12 to start to create the roses. I create a mixture of Scarlet Red and Quinacridone Magenta, and since I wanted to create these roses in the upper left area of this page, I started to create these roses from the center, and I remember to change colors to create roses that are a little bit more realistic compared to the rose that I've created in the first painting. So my recommendation for you at this point is to remember to create your flowers in different shapes but also in different sizes. And don't be afraid to waste pigment, but really load your brush with a lot of pigment to create beautiful blend effects while you're painting and while you are laying your brush onto the paper. And at this point, it's time to start to add the other rose in the lower part of the page. And I wanted to improve what I've done in the past by not only creating one rose, but creating two roses. So the first thing that I do is to keep a similar color palette to the roses in the upper part, but I'm deciding to add this first rose of the two close to the central flower, but located in a sort of area that creates a C shape, a reverse C shape with the roses in the upper part, in the left part of this page. And since there is still a little bit of space between the rose I've created in the bottom part and the central flower, I'm creating another rose that is very close to the hero flower. And so my recommendation for you is not to be afraid to not having flowers that are touching each other. You can really create beautiful flowers that are connected to each other through some parts of their bodies, and this will create a little bit more flow in your composition. One of the things that I've learned in this journey is that when I'm creating flowers, I need to remember to put them quite close to each other, not to leave too many white spaces, and also to remember to have them in different shapes and different sizes. And at this point, I try to improve my first painting by adding additional flowers with the flat brush and adding them in yellow color. I picked the yellow ochre as a main color for these filling flowers in yellow that I'm adding, and I use this color because I want overall to have a warm color palette. I am adding these filling flowers, these yellow flowers, all around the main hero flower because they are sort of hugging and touching this main hero flower in the center, but also they complement all the flowers around. I am changing the color value, so I'm removing part of the pigment in the cup of water, and I'm also allowing some transparent orange to blend into the body of the yellow ochre flowers through some wet in wet technique. And so really taking advantage of this technique, the wet on wet, you can really create some loose style flower composition in watercolors that are more realistic, although still in loose style. With a round brush in size 6 and some Sap Green, I'm starting to create some greeneries. It's very important, and this is something that I'm going to improve compared to the first painting, is to create the stems of your flowers that have a sort of flow with the whole composition. So don't create straight lines when you are creating the stems of your flowers, but create curved lines that already identify where the leaves are going to be created. And now, with a round brush in size 12, I started to create these leaves. I will create them differently from the first painting. In this case, I will really take advantage of the shape of this round brush, and with a very light color value. It means when I don't have a very high concentration of pigment onto my brush, I just let this brush touching the paper and then adding a little bit of pressure and then releasing the pressure. Since this is a thick brush, so the belly of this brush is quite thick, it's going to be quite easy to create these round shape leaves that are quite effortless to create and very effective. I am taking care to change the color values and grab a little bit of azomate and green yellow to keep creating these leaves. Also, I'm improving the way I'm adding these leaves onto this painting because I am looking at the whole composition and I'm adding these leaves in places that help me to give a flow to the whole composition. And so, for example, in this case, I know that I want the observer to start looking at this flower composition from the upper left corner of the page down to the left corner of this page, and therefore I keep adding these green elements up in this area and down on the page here in the left corner because they are going to lead the eyes of the observer. Also, differently from the first painting that I've created, I create all of these leaves in different sizes. It means that sometimes I drag my brush longer onto the page to create these small leaves, or sometimes I just create a few and quick brush strokes to create very small leaves. The amount of leaves is also much higher compared to the leaves of the first painting, and here I'm not afraid of letting some leaves being next to each other and even touching each other, while on the first painting I just created big leaves that never touch the petals or never touch other green elements. And at this point, I am looking at the whole composition and I see that in the first composition there are some yellow filling flowers. In this case, I'm adding these filling flowers using a round brush in size 6, therefore a small brush, because I really want these filling flowers to be much smaller compared to all of the other flowers and just really be there to brighten up the whole composition. I'm not really creating round shapes with this brush, but I'm really just taking advantage of the shape of this round brush and mainly the small belly of this brush to create these round flowers. And so the ways that we have improved this flower composition, this second flower composition compared to the first one is first by creating flowers in different shapes and in different sizes all over the page. These flowers are located in positions that really help me to understand what is the flow of the whole composition, loading the brush with a lot of pigment, allowing some wet in wet with different colors, and also creating some more realistic petals, leaving some white spaces between brush strokes. Also, having different sizes for these flowers, I've been able to create more flowers compared to the first flower composition. Then, going back to the leaves, I've improved the second flower composition compared to the first one, adding more leaves in different sizes and in different shapes, just taking advantage of the shape of a big round brush, a round brush in size 12, and building up the leaves, starting from light color values and then adding brush strokes in darker color to give a little bit more movement to the whole composition. The filling flowers that are yellow are just located all around these main flowers and the leaves, and also help me together with the leaves to understand what is the flow of the whole composition, which means to understand where to start and to finish to look at this whole composition. Compared to the first painting, I've improved this second one because I left less white spaces between the flowers and the leaves. This means that I allowed more elements to touch each other and even to be one on top of the other. So I created more dimension all over this watercolor flower composition. And at this point, I take my round brush in size 6 and with a little bit of Quinacridone Purple, I start to create the center of the flowers. I know that for beginners, working on a flower composition like this one can be very challenging, and it can be quite difficult to understand where to place the main flowers, the filling flowers, and then the leaves. And that's why I've decided to take an old painting of mine to show you how I would improve the technique and the process in order to make something a little bit more cohesive and more beautiful to look at. I know that beginners are facing also other problems like how to pick colors for a color palette in a flower composition, or how to add layers, or really need more assistance on how to paint flower compositions of different types, and therefore on this channel I will talk more about all of these topics. To complete this flower composition, something that I wanted to improve compared to the first one is to really give more dimension to all of these flowers, and therefore I've decided to add layers. I like to add layers using a round brush in size 6, this is a round brush from Silver Black Velvet, and I'm using similar color values and similar colors to the base of the flowers to start to create layers on the petals of the hero flowers and most of the filling flowers, of the secondary flowers. Remember that if you really need more help on watercolor painting of flowers, I've created an ebook that you can download for free that is called The Beginner's Guide to Watercolor Flower Painting, that you can find by clicking on the link in the description below. You can have it for free, and I will guide you through the best supplies, techniques, and easiest way to create some of the watercolor flowers that you can add to all of your flower compositions. I really hope that this video was useful for you, but if you have any other question that you would like me to address, let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. See you next week with another tutorial.